there is an enormous drive to portray President Trump as a fascist brutalizer, and the ICE roundup of illegal migrants is the spear point of that drive. That's a very important story because now foreign money is involved. So let me encapsulate it all in the talking points memo. The corrupt U.S. media is not very interested in the story we broke last week, whereby we named an American citizen, a man named Neville Roy Singham, a billionaire tech guy who lives in Shanghai, China, and works in concert with the communist government there. We told you that he is pumping tens of millions of dollars into the United States to foster rebellion. He does this through 501c's, nonprofit, far left organizations. The money comes from China into those organizations. The organizations pay protesters to go out and commit mayhem. If you missed our reporting, which is now worldwide, we broke this story in detail. It is on BillO'Reilly.com. If you become a concierge member, which will enhance your life, you can get a transcript of every single word I say. Okay? But if you're not familiar with the story, go to BillO'Reilly.com and look at what we did last week. Now, you would think that every American would say, we can't allow foreign adversaries like China or Russia or the jihadists to pump money into our country to destabilize it. That's terrible. You've got to stop that, right? Well, it doesn't seem like the corrupt American media is very interested. CNN didn't mention the story. MS Now didn't mention it. David Muir on ABC News didn't mention it. David was busy covering the weather as he usually does. NBC, CBS newscast didn't mention it. We kind of missed it. I don't know how. It was out there big. Fox, Newsmax, and especially News Nation. They're the best at it. They did highlight the story. So you have to ask yourself, why would these major television news agencies, and the newspapers weren't very aggressive covering it either, why would they do it? Because it doesn't fit in to their main goal of destroying Donald Trump. That's why. Simple as that. Horrible. It's just horrible. Now, over the weekend, there were protests in the usual places, Los Angeles, Portland, Oregon, and a few others around the country. They didn't amount to much. But LA and Portland are very active 501c's. They get a lot of money, and they hire people and get people out there to create mayhem. In LA, second largest city in the country, there were 8 arrests. Okay? None of those people will be charged. Here's what the mayor said. Go.
I believe there's still about 150 people that are in an intersection. And I know that there have been arrests, and I believe they're up to about 5 arrests right now. And those arrests are for failure to disperse. You know, of course, that the overall reason for the protest today was in solidarity with Minneapolis, and that there were protests all around the country.
Well, there really weren't. This is in Vietnam. There was the usual far-left cranks mobilized in social media. They have lists of names, send them out, go here. You know the drill. All right. Now, in concert with all of this is Minneapolis. So tomorrow, the mayor of the town, Jacob Fry, far left guy, has to deliver information to a federal grand jury. Now, we thought last week that he would have to appear himself, but that's not the case now. He's been subpoenaed, and the federal prosecutors have asked for information. Okay, we're having a lot of trouble getting what the Justice Department is doing. The FBI delivered the subpoenas not only to Fry, but to the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz. As best I can determine, all right, this is the reason. And we have, believe me, spent hours on this. The investigation is into whether Fry and Walz obstructed or impeded federal law enforcement during a sweeping immigration operation in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. So those two men are being investigated on federal charges of obstruction of justice. Not insurrection yet, not rebellion, obstruction of justice. That is what we can ascertain. But I can't swear to it. Now, we've been in touch with the FBI. They're not going to tell us anything. And I understand when you have an active investigation, whether it's local, state, federal, cops don't want to be feeding stuff out. They want to gather the data. Oh, right, I got it. But this is so important for the American people to know. So what are you looking at in Minnesota? FBI, Justice Department, Pam Bondi. What are you looking at? That's all. All right. You know, we are a due process outfit here. We're not going to convict anybody of anything. Just give us an overview. Very difficult to get anything. In addition, the FBI has now taken over the investigation into the death of Alex Preddy. You'll remember on January 24th, he was shot dead by Border Patrol agents, and it's a big controversy. It's driving a lot of this, of these protests. And we're not litigating it here. That's insane. That's what they do on the corrupt television networks. We're not going to do that. But it is important that the FBI investigate this because the Border Patrol can't investigate the Border Patrol. ICE can't investigate ICE. That's crazy. So I'm happy to hear that. All right. But the bigger story is the rebellion by a state. And Victor Davis Hanson, and we send our condolences to Professor Hanson because he has lung cancer, wrote a column that mirrored mine. I think it broke yesterday. That look, this is no different than what happened before the Civil War with the South. It's no different. It's the same exact thing. States going, blank you, federal government, we're going to do what we want, and let's see what you got. Big. So I hope that you understand my job is to get as much information to you as I can. We're all over this thing. And that's the memo.